Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hidden treasures in plain sight become headline stories, and today, we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting quietly in your pocket change or tucked away in an old drawer, yet it's turning heads in the collector's world due to its astonishing value fueled by fascinating minting anomalies and production quirks. We're talking about the 1996 D1 cent coin, a penny that in normal circulation seems almost entirely unremarkable. Yet specific versions of this particular coin have shocked experts and collectors by fetching up to $372 due to a combination of rare errors, die variations, condition rarity, and misstrikes that have turned what many would discard without a second thought into one of the most sought-after and curious items in the numismatic community. As we unravel this penny's journey, you'll see how a perfect storm of mechanical missteps and human oversight created a numismatic marvel. Let's start with the basics. The 1996 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, as denoted by this D, the mint mark under the date. Unlike other Lincoln cents from the modern era, it was composed primarily of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper, a composition change made official in 1982 to reduce production costs. While billions of these coins were minted and distributed across the country, only a minuscule fraction carried the types of minting defects that make them tremendously valuable. One of the most eye-catching and rarest issues that has surfaced in some 1996 D pennies is the double die error, specifically found on the obverse side, where Lincoln's profile and the inscription show slight but noticeable doubling, particularly on the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1996. These double die examples occur when the die used to strike the coin has been improperly manufactured with a slightly shifted design impression, causing every coin struck by that die to show those doubled features. Such coins are distinguishable even without magnification, though under a jeweller's loupe or microscope, the doubled elements are crisply visible, especially around the edges of the letters. Collectors prize these for their bold appearance and rarity, and the stronger the doubling, the more desirable the coin. Another major factor driving the 1996 D penny's premium value is off-center striking, a classic mint error that occurs when the coin blank, known as a planchette, is not properly seated in the striking chamber when it's hit by the dies. Off-center strikes on this penny range from slight misalignments of around 5 to 10% to dramatic examples of 50% off-center, where only a portion of Lincoln's bust or the lettering appears on the coin while the rest is blank or distorted. These off-center coins are thrilling finds for collectors, particularly when the date and mint mark remain visible, as that confirms the coin's identity and year of issue, which is crucial for authentication and valuation. Equally intriguing is the phenomenon of broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally contains the metal during the strike, leading to a slightly wider, flatter penny that often lacks the normal raised rim. These broad-struck 1996 D cents have a warped yet aesthetically interesting appearance and are relatively rare compared to normal strikes, thus increasing their collectible appeal. Then there's the phenomenon of die cracks and die breaks, where the coin shows raised lines or bulges resulting from fatigue or fractures in the die itself. These cracks can appear along Lincoln's head, through the lettering, or across the reverse image of the Lincoln Memorial. While minor die cracks are common and generally not valuable, pronounced or dramatic die breaks, especially those forming what collectors affectionately refer to as ecuds, where a section of the die completely breaks away, can elevate a coin's worth significantly. Some 1996 D pennies exhibit reverse die breaks that almost obscure parts of the Lincoln Memorial, offering a unique visual experience that is highly desirable to error collectors. Another error found in a very small percentage of 1996 D pennies is the clipped planchette, where a portion of the coin's edge appears as though a bite was taken out of it due to the blank being improperly punched from the metal strip. These clipped planchette errors range from small notches to large crescent shapes, and when found on coins in good condition with the date and mint mark intact, they attract strong interest from buyers and auction houses. Moreover, some 1996 D pennies have been documented with rotated die errors, where the obverse and reverse of the coin are misaligned when flipped. Normally, a US coin's reverse should appear right side up when the obverse is flipped vertically, but a rotated die error might show the reverse at a 90 or even 180-degree turn, depending on how much the dies were misaligned. These rotational misalignments are immediately striking and rarely escape detection, often bringing high premiums depending on the severity of the rotation. Let's not forget the role of condition in driving up a coin's value. 1996 AD pennies that exhibit these errors and are also in pristine or uncirculated condition, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as MS65 or higher, can command hundreds of dollars or more depending on the buyer's interest. The contrast between a flawed mint process and the coin's otherwise brilliant state makes these coins even more fascinating, as it captures a moment where mechanical imperfection meets pristine preservation. Beyond mechanical errors, some 1996 AD pennies exhibit color toning, where chemical reactions over time result in hues of blue, purple, or gold shimmering across the coin's surface. Though not technically a mint error, toning, especially when evenly distributed and naturally formed, can enhance a coin's aesthetic and increase its market value. Collectors are especially keen on rainbow-toned coins, and a 1996 AD penny with both a rare error and striking toning is a dream find for any hobbyist. While counterfeit coins exist in the market, experienced numismatists can distinguish legitimate errors from intentional alterations. It's always advisable to have rare coins authenticated and graded to avoid confusion and protect investment value. Furthermore, some 1996 AD pennies have been struck on foreign planchets or the wrong metal type altogether, resulting in a coin that is either underweight or of a completely unexpected composition. These planchette errors are among the rarest and most mysterious, sometimes slipping through quality control and only being discovered years later by sharp-eyed collectors. For example, a 1996 AD penny struck on a dime planchette would appear smaller and thinner, with elements of the design cut off at the edges, and such coins can fetch immense prices due to their extreme rarity. Also, transitional errors, although not typically associated with this date, have been found where coins were mistakenly struck using outdated or experimental dyes or compositions, creating hybrids that defy expectations and fetch serious bids at auction. The allure of the 1996 AD penny also lies in its accessibility. It's a coin anyone could find in a handful of loose change, a piggy bank, or a forgotten roll of pennies from the bank. The thrill of discovery makes this coin a favorite among novice and veteran collectors alike. It's this blend of everyday familiarity and unexpected rarity that fuels interest and keeps collectors hunting. In coin roll hunts, for instance, enthusiasts sort through hundreds or thousands of pennies just hoping to find one 1996 AD penny with a dramatic misstrike, a bold doubling, or a bizarre planchette error, knowing that a single lucky find could turn a penny into a small fortune. Online marketplaces, coin shows, and collector forums often share images and discussions about notable 1996 AD era coins, further raising their profile and desirability. As more of these coins are discovered and authenticated, the stories behind them grow richer, adding to their numismatic lore. Every imperfection tells a story, from a die technician's mistake to a mechanical misfeed or a flawed metal strip, each one weaving into the larger narrative of American minting history. Some believe that with time, the more dramatic examples of these errors will only become more valuable as fewer pristine error coins remain in circulation or untouched collections. The coin market has proven time and again that unique items with a compelling story and physical peculiarity are always in demand, and the 1996 AD penny fits that mold perfectly. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into coin collecting, keeping an eye out for 1996 AD pennies with these standout characteristics could prove surprisingly rewarding. Imagine the excitement of discovering a double die variety or a boldly off-center strike tucked away in a pocket of common coins, holding in your hand a mistake so rare that collectors and experts are willing to pay hundreds for it. It's this possibility that drives the hunt and fuels the passion for numismatics. So as you sort through your change or revisit an old coin jar, remember that among those seemingly ordinary coins may lie a piece of history born from a perfect error, a 1996 AD penny that was never meant to be extraordinary but became a prized collectible through the unpredictable artistry of mechanical imperfection and the sharp eyes of collectors who saw something rare in a simple cent. Keep looking, keep hunting, and who knows, you might just be holding a $372 penny that proves even the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprises. Next, 1992 1 cent USA coin. Today we dive into one of the most unexpected surprises you might ever find in your loose change, a penny from the year 1992 that, thanks to a combination of rare minting errors, mechanical flaws, and numismatic oddities, has transformed from a single cent of face value into a coin worth as much as $224 or more. making it one of the most exciting discoveries in the world of modern US coin collecting, a journey that takes us deep into the production lines of the United States Mint and the incredible oversights that result in these valuable mishaps, because while the 1992 Lincoln cent may look like just another common coin minted in the billions, it is precisely within this massive production volume that rare and valuable mistakes can slip through unnoticed and become prized possessions for those lucky enough to spot them, and so we begin with an understanding of the coin itself. The 1992 Lincoln penny, which features the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the Denver issue bearing a small D mint mark beneath the date. Unlike all post-1982 pennies, it is primarily composed of zinc with a thin outer coating of copper, a cost-saving composition change that itself sometimes plays a role in certain types of errors. But what makes the 1992 penny particularly notable among collectors is a very specific variety of error, known as the close AM reverse, where the letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the coin are so close together that they nearly touch, in stark contrast to the standard issue-wide AM spacing that was normal for circulation strikes, and this close AM variety was intended only for proof coinage, which means that any example of a 1992 penny found with the close AM reverse that is not a proof was struck in error, making it extremely rare and valuable, especially in high grades, because it represents a case where a proof reverse die was accidentally used in the production of business strike coins, and as such only a very limited number of these coins exist in the wild, with the 1992 close AM being far rarer than even its slightly better-known 1992 AD counterpart, both of which are highly sought after, but the no mint mark Philadelphia version being the scarcer of the two. And even beyond this high-profile error, the 1992 penny is known to display other fascinating mistakes that elevate its value, such as off-center strikes which occur when the blank planchette is not properly aligned within the coining press, leading to coins where the design is visibly shifted and sometimes partially missing, and these errors range in severity from just a few % off-center to dramatic 50% off-center examples, with the most valuable versions being those where the date and mint mark are still fully visible despite the misalignment, a visual and technical curiosity that attracts strong premiums in the collector market. And then there are die cracks and die breaks that create raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface, indicating that the dies used to strike the coins were damaged or worn out, sometimes resulting in what collectors call cuds, where a portion of the die completely breaks off, leaving a blob of metal on the coin in that area, often along the rim, and these cuds can be small or enormous, each representing a unique and often one of a kind piece, since no two cuds look exactly alike, and this kind of individuality increases the coin's desirability and potential sale price, while even lesser die cracks, such as those that travel across Lincoln's face or the Lincoln Memorial columns, can be visually striking and garner attention in the error community. And in some cases the 1992 penny has been found struck on misaligned planchets or with brokerage errors, where one coin sticks to the die and strikes the next blank planchette, leaving a mirror image impression, and these brokerage examples are exceedingly rare and dramatic, often missing half or more of the normal design and displaying instead a ghost-like mirrored imprint of another coin, which makes them especially desirable. And another class of error includes the appearance of struck-through debris coins, where foreign material like grease, metal shavings, or cloth becomes lodged on the die or planchette during the strike, leading to portions of the design appearing faint, missing, or distorted. And while common struck-through grease errors may not carry high premiums on their own, more dramatic struck-through objects can raise the coin's value significantly, especially if the object can still be partially seen embedded in the coin or has caused a clearly recognizable distortion in the design. And other examples of minting anomalies include double strikes, where a coin is struck more than once, either fully or partially rotated between strikes, leading to doubled images of Lincoln or the reverse design that are immediately recognizable and immensely fascinating to collectors, especially when they show a clear separation between each strike. And these double-struck coins, particularly if they include a rotated second strike or an off-center secondary impression, are among the most dramatic and valuable types of errors, with some versions of the 1992 penny displaying this phenomenon and thus achieving significant prices at auction. And then we must consider the possibility of wrong planchette errors, where a 1992 penny may have been struck on a foreign coin planchette or on a blank intended for a different denomination, leading to a coin that is either underweight or overweight and potentially of a different metal composition, such as aluminum, steel, or brass. And these wrong planchette errors are among the rarest types of mint errors, with examples often selling for hundreds or even thousands depending on the mismatch, particularly when the coin's date and mint mark are still legible, and beyond these mechanical and die-related errors, the value of a 1992 penny is also heavily influenced by its condition, with coins graded as mint state or MS65 and above bringing significant premiums even without major errors, due to the relatively low survival rate of flawless zinc coins from this period. Since zinc is far more prone to corrosion and spotting over time than the earlier copper pennies, meaning that examples with strong original luster, no carbon spots, and full strike details are quite difficult to find and thus in high demand, especially when combined with any of the error types discussed, and toned coins also have their niche market, particularly those that display unusual hues like purples, blues, or golds due to natural oxidation, as these toning patterns can add eye appeal and uniqueness to an otherwise normal coin. And in the case of 1992 cents, natural rainbow toning combined with a known error such as a close AM or off-center strike can lead to intense bidding wars among collectors who appreciate both rarity and visual charm, and as more and more collectors enter the hobby and begin hunting for treasures among everyday change or through coin roll hunting, awareness of these error varieties grows and so does demand, particularly for coins with solid documentation, strong photographs, and authentication by grading services like PCGS or NGC, whose labels serve as both a guarantee of authenticity and a marketing tool to increase desirability, and many coins that were once dismissed as pocket change have now been discovered, graded, and sold for significant sums, sometimes going viral online and sparking new waves of interest in modern-era coins. And the 1992 penny is an excellent example of how the line between common and collectible can be crossed through a simple mistake at the mint that escaped detection, because whether it's a close AM reverse die, a dramatic off center strike, a die break cut, a clipped planchette, or even a bizarre double strike, these flaws are what transform a mundane coin into a conversation piece and a financial opportunity, and so we encourage all viewers to look closely at every penny from 1992, especially those without the D mint mark, to check the spacing of the AM in America, to inspect the lettering for doubling, to observe the rim for cuds or clips, and to consider the weight and sound of the coin in case it was struck on an incorrect planchette, because the chances of finding a valuable error are far from zero, and many coin hunters have found rare and valuable 1992 pennies without even realizing what they had at first, only to later learn from an online forum or numismatic expert that their coin was worth dozens or even hundreds of dollars, and in an age where information spreads rapidly and collecting communities are more connected than ever, the value of these coins continues to increase as more examples are discovered, documented, and added to auction listings, price guides, and collector databases. And so if you're a coin collector, a treasure hunter, or just someone curious about the mysteries in your pocket change, keep a sharp eye out for these rare 1992 cents that are quietly making waves in the numismatic world, coins that tell a story not just of money but of mistakes, history, chance, and the enduring human fascination with rarity and imperfection. And remember that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than just 1 cent. Last 2016 D1 cent USA coin. Today we are going to explore one of the most recent and astonishing examples of modern-day numismatic surprises, the 2016 D Lincoln 1 cent coin, which in its ordinary form might not raise an eyebrow, but when struck with a rare combination of minting errors, die varieties, mechanical flaws, and anomalies, it becomes an eye-popping piece worth as much as $340 or even more depending on its condition and error type, a truly remarkable transformation from a coin that the average person might toss in a jar or ignore entirely to one that seasoned collectors actively search for and invest in due to its rare and captivating imperfections. And this journey through the intricacies of the 2016 D penny will open your eyes to the hidden possibilities that lie in your spare change as we break down every error type, rarity, and possibility that turns this small copper-plated zinc coin into big money. Starting with the fact that the 2016 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small d beneath the date. Unlike all Lincoln cents produced since 1982, it is made primarily of zinc with a thin layer of copper, weighing 2.5 grams, and part of the ongoing Lincoln Memorial and Shield series that has graced American coinage for decades. And although billions were minted, the sheer volume actually increases the chance of rare errors occurring during production, as the speed and pressure of mass production can lead to overlooked flaws, machine misalignments, and die fatigue. creating the perfect environment for collectible mistakes, and one of the most significant and sought-after errors on the 2016 AD penny is the double die variety, where the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured with a slightly rotated or shifted second impression, leading to visible doubling on the coin's features, particularly the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2016, and in some cases this doubling is dramatic enough to be seen with the naked eye, while in other cases a magnifier reveals the fine details of the duplication, and these double die errors are among the most coveted because they affect the die itself, meaning every coin struck by that die will carry the same doubling, making them distinguishable and classifiable, and when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, these coins can fetch serious premiums, especially in mint state condition. And another major error type found in 2016 AD pennies includes off-center strikes, which occur when the planchette is not properly seated in the striking chamber, resulting in a coin that is misaligned and missing part of the design, and depending on the severity of the off-center strike and whether or not the date and mint mark remain visible, the value can skyrocket, with 5 to 10% off-center being less valuable but still collectible, and coins struck 40 to 50% off-center with a full date and mint mark being extremely rare and highly desirable, sometimes bringing hundreds of dollars at auction due to their visual appeal and scarcity. And along with off-center errors we also find broad-struck examples, where the collar die fails to engage and the coin expands outward during the strike, leading to a wider, flatter penny with no defined rim, and broad-struck errors are another favorite among collectors due to their unusual appearance and rarity, especially when well-centered and accompanied by other errors. And then we must discuss die cracks and die breaks, which occur when the dies used to strike the coins become worn or damaged, resulting in raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin surface, with minor die cracks being somewhat common and usually of low value, but more dramatic cracks and die breaks, especially those that result in cuds or blobs near the rim, can significantly increase a coin's desirability, particularly when the cud is large and obscures part of the design, creating a one-of-a-kind visual anomaly that makes each such coin unique, and collectors pay a premium for these because they are technically unreproducible, being the result of a very specific and individual die break. And in the case of the 2016 AD penny, several examples have been discovered with large cuds on Lincoln's shoulder or near the top rim of the obverse, some of which nearly obliterate the motto or parts of the portrait. And such pieces in uncirculated condition are fetching impressive amounts in private sales and online auctions. And in addition to die breaks, another fascinating error that has surfaced in the 2016 descent is the struck-through error, which happens when a foreign object or material is present on the die or the planchette at the moment of striking, resulting in part of the design being weak, missing, or replaced by a strange indentation or mark. And these struck-through errors vary widely depending on the object involved, with grease-filled dies producing faint or missing letters and struck-through fibers or metal shavings producing bizarre patterns on the coin surface, and when these are clearly visible and affect key design elements, they can greatly enhance a coin's uniqueness and value. And more severe examples where coins are struck through cloth, tape, or even wire can become sensational discoveries that collectors are willing to pay large sums for, especially if the strike-through is bold and well preserved. And among the most shocking 2016 AD penny errors are double and multiple strikes, where the coin is struck more than once due to a failure to eject the planchette properly from the coining chamber, leading to a second or third strike overlapping or rotated in comparison to the first, creating ghost-like images of Lincoln or the shield. And such coins are dramatic and easily identified, and examples with clear, separated design elements from multiple strikes have sold for hundreds, with demand being highest for those that show a rotated second strike, especially when the date and mint mark are visible and clear on both impressions. And yet another category of rare errors includes coins struck on the wrong planchette, which happens when a blank intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin is mistakenly used in the coining process, leading to coins that are the wrong weight, color, or size. And while rare, some 2016 D pennies have been reported to be struck on dime planchets, resulting in smaller, thinner coins where much of the design is missing or cut off at the edges. And these errors are exceptionally rare and valuable, especially when authenticated and confirmed by weight and metallurgical analysis, and collectors pay heavily for such examples, often into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and completeness of the error. And we must also mention repunched mint marks, or RPMs, where the D mint mark was punched more than once and not perfectly aligned. resulting in a shadow or ghost image of the letter D, a rare and intriguing error that harks back to earlier eras of coin production but has occasionally been seen in more modern coins like the 2016 D, and RPMs are especially prized by variety collectors who seek every known version of a given year's coinage, and even tiny differences in punch angle or positioning can turn a penny into a collectible. And then there are the rarer machine doubling errors, which occur not during the die making process but as a mechanical vibration during the actual striking, creating a flattened or shelf-like doubling of letters and features that can sometimes be mistaken for a true double die, and while generally less valuable, some severe cases of machine doubling can still attract interest if they are dramatic and affect key features of the coin, especially when accompanied by other errors or appearing in high-grade examples. And toning is another factor that can boost the value of a 2016 or D penny, particularly when natural oxidation causes the coin to develop hues of blue, purple, green, or gold, and rainbow-toned coins are especially attractive to collectors for their beauty and uniqueness, with color patterns being a matter of taste but also driving up bidding in auctions where visually striking coins are always in demand, and toned coins that also feature errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, or struck-through features become even more desirable due to their combined visual and mechanical appeal, and condition is always a vital component in determining the value of an error coin, with mint state examples, especially those graded MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC, carrying the highest premiums due to their scarcity and eye appeal, and zinc-based pennies like the 2016's D are notoriously prone to corrosion, spotting, and surface problems, meaning that high-grade examples with bold strikes and full luster are not easy to come by, and when you find such a coin that also features a significant mint error, you are looking at a highly valuable specimen that collectors will pay handsomely for, and the popularity of error coins continues to grow as social media, coin forums, and YouTube channels like this one bring attention to the amazing stories behind what most people consider pocket change, and coins like the 2016 D penny become the focus of community hunts, bankroll searches, and estate sale dives as collectors hope to uncover the next big error coin worth hundreds or even thousands. And what makes the 2016 D even more exciting is its relative newness, meaning many of these error coins may still be out there waiting to be found, hidden in drawers, jars, or circulated bankrolls, and anyone with a keen eye and a little knowledge has the potential to discover one, turning a single cent into hundreds of dollars overnight, a numismatic lottery ticket hiding in plain